take to stop global warming. Here's the challenge. We have to stop the buildup of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, i.e. achieve carbon neutrality, reduce CO2 levels back to 350 parts per million. That's considered the safe upper limit. And we crossed that back in 1988.
We're 400 something.
We're over 400 now, yeah, well over. Convert to a renewable energy base, abandon all fossil fuels. That includes all hydrocarbons, except for aviation, but aviation is a special case. We talked about biofuel and biomass and biodiesel and trash and wood, flakes, chips. Those are all hydrocarbons. Those all release carbon dioxide when they're burned. Doesn't help. Here's the problem. We're fast approaching that point of no return. We get to that ice-free Arctic. After this, global warming becomes methane driven. We can't turn it off. It accelerates. So we have to achieve an 80 to 90% reduction in CO2 emissions in the next 5 years if we're looking at the airborne carbon dioxide limit, or the next 10 years tops if we're looking at the ice-free Arctic limit. So what do you suppose the odds are that we're going to actually achieve that? This is why the scientific community has such a sense of hopelessness, which is understandable. How's everybody feeling so far? So to buy the time needed to accomplish the conversion to a renewable infrastructure requires we find a way to interrupt the warming process somehow, temporarily. How do we do that? I call it planetary triage. Warning. The following material, I'm not joking here, the following material is very controversial, extremely controversial. So just be advised that this could get weird. From historical information, we know that very large volcanoes put sulfur dioxide in the upper atmosphere and actually can cool the surface. A benchmark event was the 1850 eruption of Mount Tambora in the South Pacific. 100 million tons of sulfur dioxide was put in the upper atmosphere, and it cooled the planet a full 1 degree C within a year. So we know that this kind of thing can actually be beneficial. So what we're talking about is an engineered volcano. We can potentially achieve the same effect artificially by a process known popularly as geoengineering. That's a boogie word. There's a lot of difficult stuff about that. I don't even like to think that we have to even talk about this. First studied under President Johnson's presidency. Concept is if we can shroud the planet in a reflective material, we can cool the surface. So we can do this by air and by sea. By air, think of it as chemotherapy for the planet. I use that word on purpose because, it's a chemotherapy. Well, we're going to cure you of cancer, but might kill you first. Okay? It's very dangerous stuff. Atmospheric dispersal of sulfur dioxide or other reflective compounds. A fleet of 70, we calculated that a fleet of 75 commercial-sized aircraft making 3 flights a day could disperse enough material to cool the planet 0.2 of a degree within 12 months. So this has already been determined. Controversy. Compounds being injected today include sulfur dioxide and aluminum dust. Aluminum dust is very reflective. It can have negative effects when I fall back to the surface. Acid rain, increase in neurological disorders. There's a significant danger of this if the compounds are not reformulated. More benign compounds are currently being developed, so and that's extremely important. Doing this by sea, we can manufacture an Arctic cloud layer. 200 specially designed ships applying the Arctic Ocean could put a permanent cloud layer over the Arctic to reflect incoming thermal energy to keep it cool. And we do that during the 6-month Arctic day, and then during the 6-month Arctic night, you could let that cloud cover dissipate, and that excess heat will radiate back out into space. So how long do we have to do this? We have to do this as long as it's necessary to keep the planet cool enough so we can convert to the renewable energy base and bring the CO2 levels back down to a safe level. The cost is trivial. To put up that shroud, only about $3 billion per year. It's nothing. It's chump change. In fact, it's so small that a small consortium of extremely wealthy and environmentally minded individuals could fund it on their own, not requiring any government supervision or a contribution or intervention and if they limit dispersal of operations in international waters and airspace, they can be virtually autonomous. So there's a way to get there from here. To stop global warming and prevent the demise of mankind, we're against the wall. We're against the wall. That's why I'm so passionate about this stuff. We're out of options. I don't know of anything else. Anybody else? Well, anything else we can do to actually stop this thing in time? I'm open.
Yeah,
I'd like to know.
well, you know